Hello friends and welcome to Yashasvi Bhava, a Loksatta initiative for SSC students to learn with the help of video lectures. My name is Mr. Dadar and I am going to deal with English subject for lower level, that is LL students. Friends, as you know that your question paper is divided into 80 marks and which is categorized into 5 sections. Section A, B, C, D and E. And as you know that in previous lecture you might have come to know about the marking system of all these sections, and I am going to deal with D section, which is writing skill, which is very important from your point of view because it is one of the scoring part of your paper, and we always feel that this part we people are lacking behind. So in order to make yourself excel in this particular area, I am here to help you all. So let's begin with the D section. In your question paper, this D section begins with question number 6 and its subpart is A. There are two types of letter. One is formal letter, another is informal letter, and we will begin with the formal letter. So here is the letter. Question 6A, letter. Types of letter, as you know that formal letter and informal letter, but we are going to begin with informal letter. In informal letter, there are 5 subtypes. First is sympathy letter, advice letter, invitation letter, request letter, apology letter, and various others. These 5 are very important because they are repeatedly asked in your board question paper. So I feel that these 5 you are supposed to focus on. Friends, let us try to understand what exactly the layout of the letter, because you people are familiar with letter, but in this modern era of email and digital world, letter is a little bit outdated, but still we are supposed to know and understand how the letter is written. Friends, this is the layout of the letter which is not published in an article. So this is the opportunity for you to understand it with the help of this video lecture. In this layout, as you know that address is written in this corner, and in address there are various things that you must take care of. The first, while writing the address, commas are very important. Where to give commas must be known to you. When you are writing an address, you are supposed to write the name of a building, after that give a comma, and after that the name of a road, then again give comma, and then in which area you are living, then give comma, and in which city you are living, then give full stop. After that full stop, you are supposed to write down the date. The date is again very important. You should not write second, third or fourth like this. You just write the number and then the month and then the year, and again give the full stop. So this address writing is very important because it gives the first impression for the person who is assessing it. After writing address, then we come to salutation. Salutation is again very important. In salutation, you are supposed to, especially while writing a letter which is family letter, if you are writing a letter to father, you are not supposed to write dear and his name. You just write dear father. If you are writing a letter to your brother, then you are not supposed to write that dear brother. Don't write like this. Write dear Sham, dear Ram, or dear sister. You are not supposed to write. You can write on dear Sheila, something like this, because brother and sisters are having various names, but father and mother are the only people that you are not supposed to write their names. So salutation plays a very important role if you are writing a letter. One more thing that I would like to add here is that if the person you are writing a letter having a designation, for example he is a doctor, then you are supposed to write down dear Dr. Deshpande, like this. The person having another designation, for example a colonel, then you are supposed to write dear colonel and his name. So these salutation, the things that I have already mentioned that you must follow. After salutation, opening is very important. In this opening, if your opening is good, then the person who is assessing it can easily understand what is the content of this letter. So opening is very important. I am going to deal with this opening in particular on the next page, but here only I am just mentioning how you should start. Then after opening, give a little break, and after that begin the text of the letter. This is the main part of the letter where you are supposed to write down all the details and all the purposes that you are having in your mind while writing the letter. And the last part, that is complimentary close, then you wish something, you wish for your elders, then you greet to your younger ones like this, and then come down here, that is yours faithfully, your sincere, your dearest, something like that. You can close with an XYZ. You are not supposed to write down your name. So this is the layout of the letter, which is familiar letter that I have mentioned. So friends, we get variety here. Sometimes we may begin like this: thank you for your informative letter which arrived yesterday. So in this way, there comes variety, and if variety is there, then naturally you are going to score good marks. Now we'll try to understand another way of beginning of the letter, how you can start. If you don't like this way of writing a letter, then we have another way, means you have choice. Here is: I was very glad to get your letter which I received yesterday. This is another way of writing or starting a letter. If you don't like this word glad, then you may begin like this: I was very happy to get your letter which I received yesterday. And then you may proceed as in a layout of the letter, you come to know that how to write the text of the letter. Now we are going to learn about various subtypes of family letter. Now first one is sympathy letter. Now to whom the sympathy letter is written? The sympathy letter is written, for example, your friend had an accident, so you are supposed to write a sympathy letter to him. Or another way is that if suppose your friend fails in SSC or HSC, then you may write a sympathy letter for him. So any reason you can choose to write, especially in your exam, this letter is quite focused. Now let us try to understand how to start a sympathy letter. I was shocked, then give comma, beyond measure, again comma, to know about your multiple injury. This key sentence is useful for the friend who had an accident. If he had an accident, then you may begin your letter like this: I was shocked, means I become very much shocked, and that shock cannot be counted, beyond measure, to know about your multiple injuries. This is the one way of writing sympathy letter. If you don't like this line, or if you are not satisfied with this line, then you have another option. Then you may start with the another line. I was very sorry to learn from here is a dot dot, that means you may write down the name of your friend. I was very sorry to learn from Rahul that you had an accident. Like this you may begin. Or here is again: I was very sorry to learn from Rahul that you met with a very serious accident. So variety is very important while writing, because many people are watching this video. Naturally they are going to follow the same way. It means that if everybody starts with the first line, then you may get the monotonous line, but I am trying to give you the variety here. Again another way, after beginning with this is again very important line that you should write: my best wishes for your quick and complete recovery. This is very important, because as your friend had an accident, naturally you must show the sympathy, and these words plays very vital role. If you don't like again this line, then there are another line that you may end your letter with: by God's grace your life has been spared, and we pray God for your early recovery. So these words are healing words which are important and which are crucial in writing sympathy letter. So this is one way of writing sympathy letter. You may start, and after starting this you may end in various other way. So one sub part is sympathy letter that I have already presented. Now move to another, advice letter. Advice letter you can start like this: I was very annoyed to know. Basically, to whom you give advice. Advice, for example, if you have a friend who is watching TV whole day and whole night. For example, if he is a couch potato. Couch potato means an idiot who is watching TV throughout the day. So like this, if you give advice, then you may begin with this. For example, if you are having SSC, for example, you are appearing for SSC, and your friend want to give you advice, then they may give you advice. So advice are given to good friends, but you may start like this: I wondered how such indecent act you are doing. So these words you are supposed to feel. These are very important words. Or next part, that I was stunned by knowing that you are watching TV throughout the day. Another type you may start, I have received a complaint stating that you are watching a television. Means all these 4 key lines or key sentences you can easily use to begin your letter of advice. Let us resume this Yashasvi Bhava discussion. Previously we come to know about the starts of sympathy letter and advice letter. Now let us try to understand how to begin the invitation letter. Now whom do you are supposed to invite? You invite your friends, you invite your relatives for your birthday, for example. Then there is another pattern or another sentence that you can use for calling them to celebrate your birthday. One is here. I would be very glad if you would come to celebrate my birthday. This is one way of inviting your friend. If you don't like this, then again I have another option. You may use this. It would be very nice if you could come and attend my birthday party on that date. You can write down. Or if you don't like this, then again you have third choice, that is, if I feel great pleasure in telling you that I am going to celebrate my birthday on Monday, please come and attend. So 3 various sentences I have provided to you so that it will help you to write in a better way. Okay. Then next subtype of family letter is request. We are requesting so many people. For example, you may request for a watch, you may request for notes or any other reason. So again this area has got a different. I am obliged, or you can say I am compelled to ask you to do me a favor. Either use obliged or use compelled. So you have got 2 different words. If you don't like, or if you are not satisfied with this, there is another sentence. There is something I should like you to do for me, that is, please bring your wristwatch because I am going for a party and I need your watch. Like this. So such type of request letter are very important from exams point of view, and you can easily write. And this apology letter plays important role, because one of your poem where that cookie thief, she is supposed to apologize that fellow. Likewise, even that letter is asked to write by your teacher. You might be, when this poem will be taught to you. So apology is very important. We may commit some mistakes, but to realize that mistakes and rectify those mistakes are very important in our life. So in order to rectify this, you need to go for apology. So how to begin that, or how to start that apology letter? I want to apologize that whatever mistakes you have committed, you may write down here. Or if you don't like this, then you may begin with another sentence. I shouldn't have lost my temper when you asked me to do this, or when that situation, whichever is there, you can write down. Next is, I accept full responsibility for what happened. Means these are the 3 ways to start your sympathy apology letter. So with this, we come to an end of this discussion. Friends, let us try to understand another format of letter, that is formal letter. You may call it as a business letter. And again here is another layout which is not published in the series of article or the article that you are having in your hands. You may not find this layout. So focused here. Address. In previous lecture we have already discussed about how to write the address. Then addressee is very important. In this addressee, what you are supposed to write here is the designation and the person to whom you are writing the address. In modern format, sometimes address and addressee is written in this part, but from exams point of view, you have to follow this format only. So please focus. Then salutation, which is very important. Informal salutation we have learned. Now formal salutation, you are not supposed to say, or you are not supposed to write dear. Here you are supposed to write sir or madam, like this. Then subject. In formal letter, subject is very important. On what subject you are going to write a letter, that is very important. For example, if you are living in a society and in front of that society, if there is a heap of garbage and you want to write a letter to municipal commissioner, then you may write the subject to clear the heap of garbage in front of, write down the society's name and like this. For example, if you have a problem about the broken pipeline, maybe water pipeline, drainage pipeline, or any gutter that is passing by your society, that time you may mention that please modify or please repair the pipeline. Like this you may mention in the subject. Now opening, again you are not supposed to write dear here, you may write sir or ma'am, like this. Text of the letter is very important, and this complementary clause plays very vital role again. This complementary clause, one of the sentence that I'll tell you, and that is, please take your personal attention, or please give your personal attention to this problem, and please do the needful. These are the complementary line that you are supposed to write here in this particular format of letter. And then close, yours faithfully, yours sincerely. Don't say your dearest. Like this you may close your letter, format letter. What I would suggest that this is absolutely formal type of letter. So if you prefer the informal or informal letter or family letter, that will fetch you more marks. Friends, I hope you have got a clear idea about question 6a. Now let us try to understand something more about question 6.2, that is paragraph writing. Paragraph writing again very important, because it is absolutely your skill that how you are writing a paragraph. Here you have got two choices. One is narrating or describing. Narrating means developing a story where you are supposed to narrate the events, and describing means you are supposed to describe a person or sometime a place or a thing. These two are there. You are supposed to write, or you are supposed to choose any one of these. But I will have a talk on both of these. First, let us try to understand how to develop a story. Friends, I must share a secret with you, and that is, what is a story? Because since our childhood we are trying to understand what is a story. We are familiar with various stories, but we do not understand what is the story. For example, Thirsty Crow. Now in that story, what is there? There is one crow, and he has got the problem, that is he gets thirsty, and what he needs water. That is the solution. Means what is the story? Story has one problem and it requires one solution. This thing is absolutely mentioned here, a problem and solution method. If you want to develop a story, there is a simple secret of writing a story is that there is one problem and there is one solution. Just put them in a proper order, then you can easily write a story. One example I will share with you. For example, a honest Sudhir. This is the story we previously asked. What is the story? One very poor boy is there. He is not having any job, means he is absolutely roaming here and there in search of job. Then he goes in one jeweler shop, and there a jeweler like his honesty, so he just put him on his service. And after that he want to test the boy. He keeps 500 rupees note in a drawer and close the door and ask the boy to clean the floor. Then boy was cleaning the floor and suddenly he find the note, but he do not take that note, he keeps the note there only. So what is this problem? Problem is what? That testing honesty. And what is the solution? He has just passed that exam of honesty. Means writing story requires the understanding what is asked and what you are supposed to write down. This is one way. Another story mostly asked in your exam. For example, unity has a strength. A farmer, he has 4 children, all are just not listening to each other. Farmer gets absolutely irritated by this, so he decided to bring them together, and for that he just play one trick, that he brings a bundle of wooden sticks and give to everybody and ask them to break this. They are unable to break. Why they are unable to break? This is a simple question asked. Again, if you understand this story, then you will realize that there is one problem, that his children are not coming together. To bring them together, the farmer applies the trick. So this thing you must remember, there is one problem and problem always has a solution. For this, what I would suggest you, read the stories of Panchatantra, which is easily available. If you read 2 or 3 stories, you can easily understand, and this will give you the exact idea of how to write a story. So very simple question which can fetch you maximum marks. One thing. Another thing, that is describing. Now describing is what? in our day-to-day life, we are meeting with various persons, we are watching TV, we are going by train, then we are going and roaming in a mall. So many things we are doing. And when we come back home, we always keep on describing our events and the person that we meet. The same thing is followed here. How to describe a person, place and thing. Let us try to understand how to describe a person. If in your exam, you are supposed to describe a person, first his age is very important, then his color, then his personality, then his attire, then his behavior. These are the points if you remember, and you can write down at least one sentence on each of these points. You can easily write down one paragraph. So simple thing. Another place. Now in place you are visiting various places. For example, you are going to Mumbai, you are going to Thane. Then how you go there, what have you seen there, and which things you like most, which things you don't like. If you go on describing this is done. Now things. There are various things in our house also. Whether you like these things or you don't like this. So what I would suggest to describe this, try to list down the words that describe person, try to list down the word that describe places, try to list down the word that describe things. This is one thing. One more thing, that whenever you are having a leisure time, you can easily sit there. For example, you can sit in your close to window and just watch outside and just go on writing in English that what you can see through the window, what person you are watching, how he is behaving, and if you don't know any word for that particular situation, you may ask to your teacher also and student also. With this we come to an end of this session. I hope you might have enjoyed this session, but after having this discussion you might have got queries in your mind. If you want to get your queries solved, you can log on to our loksatta.com or you can email us to Yashasvi Bhava Loksatta. All your queries will get solved within a due period of time. Thank you.